Hey everyone, and welcome back to Country Music Made Me. Thank you so much for joining us once again. If you haven't already, please be sure to check us out on social media. We're available on all platforms, so just head over, search Country Music Made Me, and give us a follow. You can also visit us at countrymusicmademe.com to sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive content. On today's episode, we're excited to be joined by Noah Hicks. Now, Noah's only 23, so he's just beginning his journey, but things have moved quickly. We had a great time talking about his upbringing in Georgia on a 100-acre chicken farm and how that has progressed to a fast-rising career in Nashville. So please enjoy our conversation with Noah Hicks. I saw you announce some dates. You're going to be going out for some shows on your own and then also joining Ernest on the road. Now, you talked about setting up your set list, and I saw some videos rehearsing the show. Now, how important is that as an artist to have that preparation and not just be stepping on stage, but have the preparation and know what you're doing during that show?
Man, you could do the bare minimum, but if you want to bring your best and have the best show, we just talked about having a full track out set. We're in the sense of we press the space bar and it goes, and you have to there's no dead time, and if there is dead time, it's for me to get a water while the band's playing something heavy or whatever that is, something rocking or whatever. So it's very important to make sure, especially when having fill-in guys and stuff like that sometimes. And rehearsal is very important. It's one of them things. I'm usually, if I forget lyrics, it's because I just brain fart in the moment. I have had some pretty big brain farts for sure. But rehearsal is very, very important, especially to hang with the guys too, man. Just to keep morale high and just hang with them, see how they're doing. It's real easy to get caught up and not check on people when you're just, running, stuff like that. So.
And now we talked about you're 23 years old. Now, when I was 23 years old, I certainly didn't have a mindset of necessarily what I was going to do with my life or working hard to get there. I was more focused on myself and partying and living the life. So for you at this point at 23, to put in that hard work, but to also live your youth and live your younger days, how do you balance that of enjoying yourself, but also knowing that if you want to have a career in this, you got to work hard and you can't just go out and party and enjoy yourself, but you got to be there each and every day?
You just got to know what things you can go to and what's beneficial and what's, there's an opportunity in everything. So you got to know which ones to take and, which ones to see out and which ones that, there's opportunities that I thought that I might could happen that never happened, on the, or whatever that is. And just really knowing some people can go out and do it. I'm one of those people that can't, so like I need my sleep. And so just keeping your head down and knowing what's best for you. If you're one of those people that need to network, then going out and networking is, a very crucial, important part. But if you've already kind of got that down, I've kind of have the lesson of ain't nobody that you really, 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 really want to talk to at a label, publishing company, or anything like that are staying out past midnight. I promise. And because they got to work the next day most likely, or they got, they just, we're not just, it's a different level. So some people are, there's some really successful people that are, out getting lit every night of the week, which is fine. That's their thing. But, people I, really want to associate myself with are, hardworking, not scared to go out and do it. And you probably should do it every once in a while, but for special occasions, for sure. It's one of them things that you just got to find the right balance and know it's, I luckily, we had COVID when I turned 21. So I got to experience a little bit of Nashville, but I didn't get to experience all of Nashville, which is probably a good thing because I, settled down a whole lot and grew up and, gained a little bit more to lose, I guess you could say. And so.
Right. Yeah. Now on that hardworking side, let's go back and talk about the youth and talk about growing up and how that shaped you into the man who you are today. Because growing up in Carrollton, Georgia, on what was it, 100-acre chicken farm?
Yes, around that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that seems like a lot of land. So growing up, did you have free reign as a kid,
Oh yeah,
just wherever you wanted to go?
for sure. I mean, we didn't have much. I mean, many boundaries, and there was more land that we had to explore too. So I mean, that is to say we tore down a few trespassing signs, I guess you could say. I didn't see one. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we had a bunch of fun on four wheelers and stuff like that. And there was or there still is, but it's a power plant, and it's a reservoir that is right by the house, and I guess it's a reservoir and a reserve. So there's a big lake, and there's nothing. There's like 2,000 acres of just logging trees, logging pines, and some hardwoods. And yeah, there was nothing but logging roads. As we used to ride four wheelers on and go to the power lines and go ride dirt roads. And I mean, you can go to the Chattahoochee through a couple of dirt roads by my house or whatever. Go to another county. Just it's like just riding. Yeah, just riding four wheelers everywhere. I mean, yeah, I've done some stuff that my parents probably wouldn't be happy with, but I definitely had some free range.
And so how's that prepared you for now in your country music career and your writing? And do you pull from those experiences quite a bit when you head into the writing room?
Oh, I definitely lived I mean, grow fifth generation on a farm, dead end of a dead end road. Didn't grow up on a dirt road, but it felt like we did. And, there's always dust in my eyes, I guess you could say. And freaking, I mean, yeah, it was literally just the dream going up. You think about it, once I moved away, I definitely I appreciate it a whole lot more when I go home now,
Right.
especially, I'm just started dating someone. So I brought her home, and she's from Connecticut, and she was literally like, I've never heard something this quiet. Like, and like being your home, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's been out to some cool places, but like, uh, she was like, this is like what's that? There's some movie about a cowboy. It's like some chick flick, and she said it like she was like, this is exactly what I think about when I see this, because I had we blessed to have a nice farm, and where I grew up, it's a very cool house, gorgeous sunset view and stuff like that. And yeah, it's one of them things that we can our own food and can our own like vegetables for the winter and grow it. Everything we eat, we grow. I know exactly where it comes from. I mean, it's kind of the chickens are industrialized, I guess you could say. So we rarely get to eat our own chickens, but I'm sure we do. But yeah, I know where all the cow comes from and vegetables. I mean, my mom's got a green thumb, so she grows everything. So I mean, there's plants all in the house. It's 3 cats, 1 dog, got a bird, cows, horses, mules. It's just literally a big old farm.
That is amazing. And you were able to feature sort of home in some of your music videos. And I saw that your grandpa, your papa, I think you call him,
Yeah,
was featured in one of your videos. And I wanted to ask about him and the man that he was and how he influenced you growing up.
man, he is. He's probably one of the biggest influences I have. He the same hayfield we have across the road, and from his house or whatever, and from our house too. It's the same hayfield that he picked cotton from and like pulled like horse and mule like plow ago. They were pretty poor, very poor. So like it's very cool to like know that I mean he knows nothing but hard work. He's literally doesn't have a stop button. I mean he tries to stay awake in this chair, but he falls asleep. But he wakes up again and tries to stay awake and fall. It's just one of them. Like he's just persistent, hard headed. But I mean, he's got a bunch of family, brothers and sisters and whatever, and just hearing the stories. He's definitely among the healthier ones, and just knowing, thank God for that. But just hearing the stories of like I mean, riding the wagon to school and just like walking, like just all of this stuff. It's just, even my dad's side is the same way. Because I'm blessed to have, it wasn't always this way, but it's been about probably 15 years maybe of my dad's side. That's my mom's side. Is the farm we grew up on,
Oh, okay.
and their maiden name, they're the Rivers. And that's what our farm's called, Rivers Farms.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and the Hicks, grandma and grandpa Hicks, they moved up the street. Dad built them a house long time ago, whatever. So
Oh, wow.
it's nice to have both set of grandparents on the road. But I definitely grew up. Papa, the one of the No More of a music video. That's actually in his shop. And the chicken houses, you see those are chicken houses. I mean, that's you're literally, you could see my house. I mean, you could basically, all them kids and all them, people that we had in the music video and stuff like that. Those were all like people from around the county and just like my sister's friends and stuff like that. And just, I mean, yeah, I definitely got to, that cornfield was, somebody's cornfield that we know, and just stuff like it. It was just cool to definitely just get to show that, and also have Rhett. The Rhett scenes we didn't film that back home. We did that posed out on a farm in Tennessee, but a lot of the stuff back home or all the stuff of just me was back home for sure, which was very, very cool to have an experience. Just to even film back home, it's just a cool feeling.
That's amazing. And now within your youth, we have to talk about your show pig days. I want to hear about this.
Yeah,
and I believe there was Pinocchio and Oreo, I think, were two of your show pigs.
Bro. I saw. Down far.
So tell me about that. What is that life like?
I mean, wait, you ever heard, what FFA stands for?
No.
Fathers Feed Animals. I'm just kidding. No, it stands for Future Farmers of America.
Oh, okay.
And that was the organization I'm a part of. I guess you could say you're still a member, or whatever. Yeah, that's just getting a pig. Ninth grade year, my brother showed pigs, and that was always something fun to go do. I could hang out with him and his buddies and stuff like that. And ninth grade year, I got my first show pig, and you get it like a 30, 40-pound pig and raise it up to the show weight. I think it's 215 to 285 is like the weight in between. You have to grow it.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember how long it grows, but I mean, it's one of them things that got me out of a lot of school. Let's just say that. That's one thing it did. It got me out of a lot of school. That was probably the main reason why I was definitely more attracted to it, because I watched my brother. My brother didn't go to school because of ag. And because he had two really great teachers, Mr. Chuck Joyner and Mr. Mark Lashley. It's every ag teacher I've been a part of has been great, and they've also had a part of my life. But like those two fellas were like the ones that I was tagging along when my brother was in high school. So I was like I always hung out with my brother and his friends and stuff like that. So I was always like tagging along. And yeah, Mark taught me for 2 years to move back home to Bainbridge, Georgia. But it was one of them, and he showed pigs in his high school. And I think Mr. Joyner his grand boys were showing pigs, and I graduated with one of Chuck's grandkids, Rick. But yeah, it was a big thing. Like it was. I mean, it's a kind of a crazy, and pig showing is not as crazy as like cow showing and stuff like that. Like cow showing is like a big money sport, and it's still big money in pigs. But it's just one of the things you just wake up every morning and feed it, and got to make sure you got to be home and feed it at night. Because dad fuss at you if you don't. And yeah, it's just one of them things. You have to walk it, you have to exercise it, practice with it, and make it your own. But yeah, it was good eating too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. At the end of the day, did it become dinner for you?
For sure.
Was that difficult though, in raising this and showing it and then seeing it on the dinner table?
You don't think about it. At least I don't. I mean, I might be like, had some good times. One last go around, I guess. I don't really. That stuff you grow up around it. I mean, life and death. It's kind of a very normal thing going on the farm. I mean, you got to know it's just literally the circle of life.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather eat them than it piss you off just enough. I mean, for sure. It's not like they're hard headed for sure. So
that's hilarious. And now on the music side, I read that your dad's side was sort of the musical side. What did music sort of mean for you in your younger years on that side of the family? Did they play? Did they sing? Or was it more just listening to music?
My dad, my dad would sing around and stuff like that. He can play piano a little bit. But my uncle Dwayne, his brother, led worship and play guitar. All his kids play an instrument of some sort. They all play guitar, but they all play, the oldest one can play like a bunch of things. Jeremy actually moved the second oldest moved to Nashville and tried to pursue the same thing I guess I was doing. I don't really know exactly what his plan was. I haven't really talked to him much about it.
Oh, okay.
Cool to figure out. But he did the same. He's in California, can play guitar, sing. The third daughter, Kristen, can do the same thing. Matthew can play drums, the youngest son. And I think my Aunt Darlene can play piano. And I think my Aunt Joy can play. It's just the musical, like that was definitely where and Kentucky is definitely like a bluegrass state, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my dad. I mean, my dad listens to nothing but gospel music. You know, he doesn't
Oh,
listen. He
okay.
listens to the radio, but he wouldn't know it's the shop radio that's playing, or if he has the choice to listen to gospel music in his truck, he's gonna listen to it. So it's that moving up to heaven. It's like some like old school stuff. So that's kind of what I grew up listening to. So I mean, the second we listened to country, but the second I heard like rap and rock and stuff like that, like that's what I definitely started, especially rap. I used to love rap.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, and yeah, so that side kind of was like the influence. My best friend got a guitar, and then I didn't get one long after. Jimmy or Ryan, he changed his name, which is kind of crazy, but Jimmy not. He got a guitar. We would just like practice riffs.
Was that in
That was
third grade when you got that?
around that time. Yeah, he was like second grade, third grade. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and just started just playing and started playing in the youth band at sixth grade, and by ninth, 10th grade, we were like better than the big church band. So it's just one of them things that my cousin played drums, Jimmy'd play on lead guitar, I'd be on rhythm, and that's like I always thought about singing, but I never like did. Um, I always saw myself on a stage though when I would like listen to a song, I would think about me playing the solo or playing the guitar instead of instead of being the lead singer. I have a very imaginative, like daydreaming mind type thing, and kind of got kicked out of church band, I guess you could say. I just got asked to. I
Kinda.
mean, you can't be, you can't drink beer, and you can't dip and just like I would push it. I was probably being a little punk, but it's
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I'm sure I wasn't I was living out them country songs for sure.
Right.
Especially the early teens and stuff like that, thousands, like the early 2000 teens, whatever songs. I definitely was living those out. Started singing. My buddy Reed Morris, another artist in town, he was kind of already doing the artist thing in Charlton, playing these little like Irish pubs and some like private gigs. And I started just playing rhythm guitar, lead guitar, and just helping him whatever, just
Right.
hanging out with him. His mama told him that she really didn't like him hanging out with me, which is funny. If that tells you anything. I was an older kid, but I was not the best influence. I guess I just loved to live out them country songs. That's all I want to say.
Right.
and and yeah, I sang one. Like he called me out on stage one night, and I sang, and people were like, "You're pretty good." And we kept singing together, doing things, and I started getting asked to come by myself, and that's when I kind of started splitting up. There wasn't no harm. We're still best friends. I talk to him today, like we still chat every other day and every day almost, and I think we still Snapchat each other every day for sure. But we talk and just keep in touch and yada yada yada. He's doing his thing and he's working his moves, and I help him out wherever I can. And, whatever that is, like it's cool to like we know we're both doing it. It's real cool to sit around sometimes. We're like, dang, dude, we're doing this thing. And so it's just cool to like sit back and know that like it's a 10-year town. So just set the cruise and just try not to lose momentum.
Right. Yeah. I know within that first performance, when you finally jumped on stage to sing, do you remember that feeling? Like what was going through your mind?
Oh, I was so nervous. I hated it. I was like, this is, I knew I was playing it too fast. And I knew like it was just very nerve wracking. I still get nervous before I go on stage. I mean, it's especially like, I just get nervous. It's not a thing that I hope to ever lose. I've had
Yeah.
moments where I've stepped on stage and been a lot more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely moments where I, stepped on stage and been like, but I still get that, like, my heart still races like crazy. And just the fact of, I don't even know if you'd call it like tattoos. I would never get a tattoo because of the commitment of like, it's there. Like you can't do it over, right?
Right.
Unless you
Yeah.
get, whatever. So that's what a show is, right? It's like you cannot, once you step on that stage, that's it. Like you have to do what you're called to do. And I played sports, but not. I think I only did 1 year of tackle football, which I was very young still. So I never had that like game time thing going on besides
Right.
church. And that wasn't like I was reading sheet music and it was super easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta like, so it's just like that game time feeling of like, that's like, I get that like, okay, don't mess up, remember the lyrics and have fun. You know what I mean? All in
Right.
that order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, it's just one of the things you just got to keep, I don't know, that little jitter.
Was that 2016, like 17 years old when you first jumped up on stage?
Yeah, I graduated in 2017 and it was the summer of it.
Did I see that in October of 2016 you played the Back 40 Bash opening for Riley
Oh yeah,
Green?
so I guess it was 2016. Holy, uh, that was sorry, I'm bad at numbers and
Yeah,
keeping up
no,
with
it's
time.
all good.
That just like mind screwed me a little bit. Yeah, that was before I guess that was after I started singing a little bit, and that was I definitely started singing. I definitely had my first time in 2016 then. Because yeah, we played that Back 40 Bash. I only got to sing one song, and I sang Hurricane. And
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that was a night that they sang it back. They sang that song back to me. Like I did the whole, like I watched like a million videos of how Luke Combs did it. And I did the like, let them sing the last chorus, or whatever. And that it was crazy. That's like, I remember feeling that feeling and being like, dude, I could control that crowd. Like I 100% did that. And yeah, it was just a really freaking crazy feeling. And I remember I can't, like, if that's somebody else's song, imagine that's my song. So I've never chased a CMA. I've never chased the Grammy. I've been like, I could literally give two shits about those. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not like, that's not like, if I never get one of those, I don't care. But I will sell out stadiums. That's kind of like where my head's at. Like, I'm like, that's like stadium or bust. It's kind of like, you know, arenas are great, but stadiums are bust. It's like, and I know it's going to take a lot of work and who knows how long, God knows only how much time. So it's just got to know what I'm chasing and know what, you know my order of that night instilled me of like, those are fans and those are, you know, I have no idea who they were and they have no idea who I was. But we met on one common ground, and imagine if it's like, imagine the feeling of that being your song. So it's like, I don't know, that common ground is even more like spiritual almost, honestly. Like if you have people like feel your music, that's kind of like it blows my mind. People like know my songs. It really does. Like it blows my mind. It's so crazy. And yeah, it's just freaking wild.
Yeah, exactly. And now within this journey to get to playing stadiums, within this country music career, it feels like the mind is very forward focused. But for you and your experiences so far, like I saw that FGL and of course Luke Combs were some artists who inspired you on your way up. And now
For sure.
within this career already, when it comes to FGL, you were able to join Chase Rice for some shows and you were able to jump up with him and sing
Yeah.
Cruise. Now, a co-writer of Cruise, and you're singing with him. And then also with Luke Combs, you had a chance to play the tailgate party outside his stadium tour in Seattle.
That was incredible. That was, and I mean, I mean, for example, I made his first band member I like became buddies with was Rob Wilford. And his neighborhood is the first house I ever stayed at in Nashville. Was a crazy story. I woke up hungover in a hotel room. Like I just played the bar at the hotel the night before in Alabama, and I had no idea where I was staying in Nashville. I just told my parents I was going, and I played the show the night before, and I had buddies I was hanging out with that night. It was a big kind of like a lot of people were there. It was fun, and it's a picture of me, Corey Daly, and Colton Friday with Chaston on my Instagram somewhere, and that next night or that next morning or that night or whatever, I talked to a girl named Charlotte, and she gave me a name, or she like reached out to some people, and they like I called his number basically in my pocket the next morning. And they're like, "Yeah, we're ready for you." And by God, if Rob's neighborhood isn't literally like across the street from the house that like I was crashing in, so it was just like I remember like driving first time going to Rob's house, I was super excited, you know, like just look up. I've known him for forever, so I'm going to Rob Wilford's house. Like, this is crazy. And I remember Nate Smith was there, Andrew Nunakis was there, a couple other cool people were there that day too. This was before Nate took off too, which is funny. Um, but yeah, I just remember driving around like this feels hella familiar. And I took a ride. I was like, that's so crazy. That's the house that like it was just one of them like a God wink, I call them. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you're headed in the right direction. So like, dude, it's life's literally the right I write with tomorrow. Like it's just like crazy. Just I mean, the rights I'm in. That I mean, that's just one tip of the iceberg to me of just the art. I'm enjoying honestly as much as the songwriting journey. It's like what talking to learning, talking to Chris Tompkins and writing with Rodney Clawson, and golly, Cole Taylor, Jordan Walker, just Brad Clawson. There's so many people that I can like name off, like that. Just learning the story of that, of just hearing the artists are cool. Like I enjoy the soul, like the seed of it, if that makes sense, because it all boils down to the song, which is cool. I mean, I didn't think about that. I forgot he wrote the song. I knew that, but like that's another little cherry on top for that night of whatever. That was a night we got to hang out, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy just to even think that I'm in an office and it's my office technically, and I got my own code on the door, and I got like this whatever that is. Like it's just it's crazy. Like Cole Taylor's guitar is right there because like I just because I know that's his guitar because the last time he wrote, he left his guitar right there,
Oh
and that was
wow.
last week. So like just stuff like that. It's just typical, and you know you can lose sight of it, but it's cool that there's a lot of you can definitely lose sight of it. But here lately, I've definitely kind of caught track of all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to make sure that you don't lose track of it and get too caught up in the journey?
For sure, because that this I mean, people if you don't know if you don't realize if you're not grateful, you might not. I mean, I know some people that I've talked to artists that are blowing up and stuff like that, and had a lot of success, and you can get to your head fast, and if you don't lose that, hey, we are like in a really cool position to not only like spread whatever you want to spread, but also minister people in a way of like, they either pay their hard-earned ticket to come see, meet you. Why would you not give 110% of yourself, and whatever that is, take that picture or sign that sign or down to just grinding, knowing putting 100% of your into the songwriting. It's like you just got to be just fully focused and know that it's a blessing to even do music as a living, because it's funny when I hear people say it's hard work. It's just mental hard work. I don't know what hard work is anymore. I grew up doing hard work. I don't really like. I mean, hard work ain't my vocabulary anymore in the grand scheme of like pushing a shovel. I don't want to do that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it, but I don't what I gotta go use the restroom. Like you know what I mean, and leave. Like I'm just that's just because music. I mean, we're in air conditioning all day. Like there's some hard stuff that goes along with it. It's a lot of can be taxing in the brain, but and no hate. And I hope people don't hear this and think that I'm just like whatever. But I just know that go drive downtown and see them people freaking on the construction site. That's hard work. Go talk to the lady that's the barista parlor. That might not be the hardest thing in the world, but we're not the music industry is like the coolest thing in the world. Even if like down to the bare minimum songwriting part of it, if you're making money off of it, obviously it helps out. But down just it's cool just to be a songwriter, or even like the interns. I remember like I love hearing stories of songwriters that were interns and being like, dude, I got to see some of the best catalogs and best, stuff like that. Like my buddy Will Bundy was an intern before he was a guy or before he became a writer, track guy, whatever, producer, track guy. But yeah, he got to hear like some of the most incredible songs ever. Forest Fens the same way. Like it's just like it's incredible to even like know that we're walking around the same places that really cool people walk around in. That people pay big money and we're doing it for free.
And now within your songwriting and some of those guys you just mentioned, I saw in 2021, so last year, you had a sort of retreat with Paul DiGiovanni, Cole Taylor, and Jeremy Stover. And you sat down for, I think, like 4 days and wrote 6 songs and really dove into who you were and who you wanted to present yourself as an artist, and really diving into the personal nature of these songs that you were going to be releasing. And so, talk about that time and developing yourself as an artist and finding yourself within your music.
That was a cool time just because they were kind of buttering me up to sign me or whatever, and I didn't know who Paul DiGiovanni was, and I uh, I knew who Cole Taylor was super stoked about that, and was already stoked about Jeremy. But by the second, third day, that's when I found out who Paul was, and I was like, wow, this is an even cooler trip than I even like had any half away. Like, did not like, wow. And it was just cool to Cole's from Georgia, and Jeremy's from Georgia, and Paul's from Massachusetts, and yeah, just getting to hang out and hear stories. I was like, it was. I've had a couple of those retreats since then, and they've all been really crazy. And it's still every moment's still the same. I'm like, this is wild that I'm even doing this. Like I'm at the beach writing songs. Like what? Like it's like what? And we're like, and like it's like it's just a cool. It's just like a cool. It's just crazy. Like where I'm getting I'm getting drunk with Jeremy Stover, number one writer producer, Paul DiGiovanni, number one writer producer, and Cole Taylor, number one writer, and so on and so forth with everybody I went down to the beach with, and even days I get to like come in here and stuff like that. Like it's just incredible. It's just incredible. It really is. It's freaking wild.
And with each music that you release, we're going to have a new EP coming later next month because it's still August. I'm losing track of time, but the end of September, we're going to see a new EP from you. And so with each release of your music, do you find yourself growing as an artist and evolving as an artist?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's just one of them things that they're fast. Releases are so fast, unless they're like timed out to be long. And the EP will be kind of a lengthier thing, but when you're dropping singles, especially when you haven't planned out like we do, you have to keep the ball rolling as fast as you can. Like we'll be filming for the Friday's music video tomorrow, starting at like getting there at 5:30 a.m. So like it's just kind of like you just be on top of things and knowing literally when you're just starting to work on one thing, we're planning for the next one, and it's
Right.
like you can't focus too much energy. You have to learn to kind of roll with things and just like, because at the end of the day, it's a song's going to do it. If a song's good enough and do what it's going to do, it's going to propel you to wherever.
Right.
And yeah, so.
And with the new EP, Tripping Over My Boots, September 30th, I believe, is the release date. Talk about this music. It seems like, from what I saw of you describing the tracks, it's very relationship oriented. And there's a song that you talk about sort of living the good life no matter what, if you're in a relationship or not. And then the single Making Up Your Mind is sort of about your desired dating scenario. And then Tripping Over My Boots is about approaching a girl that you fancy, that you like. And so talk about just your mindset heading into this music. Is it very relationship oriented for you personally?
There's Tripping Over My Boots is a relationship-y. Making Up My Mind's relationship-y. And Creek Don't Rise is more a relationship-y. I guess breaking up and getting drunk is a relationship too, because about breaking up and getting drunk with a girl. But Different Boots and Back Home Buds is they're two pretty home style, like homegrown style songs. Like it's Different Boots is first line of the chorus, same old Chevy, same old Fords. You know what I mean? Back Home Buds, it's like call a few Back Home Buds. You know what I mean? So it's like one of them, no more of them type songs, not just a miss you back vibe. So
Right.
It's pretty well rounded. I think I love 4 of the songs I wrote on the last Writers Retreat. That was with Hunter Phelps, Will Bundy, and Jeremy Stover. So that was cool that was the first time I ever hanging and write with Hunter too. So it was cool just to, we got thrown in the mix of it, start, sleeping together, basically sleeping in the same house. Like it's one of them, like you just get like, instead of, I knew his music was really great. I knew his songwriting was really talented. I've always like kind of been a big fan of himself. And, it's one of them Cole Taylor moments where you just get thrown into it and just like, I hope you know how to be cool, or hope you know how to hang.
Is that an interesting thing? You were able to build a strong community around you in Nashville, I believe, when you first sort of started making the move. But as you move into rooms with these bigger guys, are you comfortable right away, or does it take you some time to get over the nerves and maybe get over some imposter syndrome that might be there of, do I deserve to be in this room?
It's kind of one of them things that I still probably get butterflies with some people I ain't wrote with, but most times if it's like if I was going to write with like Chris Tompkins, I mean, I've written with him a couple of times, so I walk in there just like being my normal self, and I've written with some really cool people, so it's like it's a blessing to even think about it, and that's something you can take for granted pretty easily, especially being an artist, forgetting that part. But yeah, just keep a cool head. It's just not, we're there to work. They're there to work. They want to get out and do something the same way. So just show up ready to work and know when to tag along and keep playing and know when to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Now I saw when you wrote with Rhett Aikens that I believe you talked about sort of spending the whole week leading up to that, right? Jotting down ideas so that you'd have a lot of ideas when you went in, and then you had like 20 ideas and he shot every one of them down. Now, as difficult as that might be, how is it important is an experience like that?
I mean, it kind of helps you like learn some things. I learned to just kind of roll with it and just don't. I have a list of songwriting. That was kind of early on in my songwriting publishing day, so I didn't have a long list of ideas. So I was, definitely trying to rack up the best things and not coming in empty handed. Just really, I wouldn't say you got to have a verse and chorus or a melody or whatever that is, but just coming in with an idea or a title is key. I mean, songwriters for a purpose. A lot of times, I'm an artist first. I consider myself a songwriter, but not like that. I want to be considered an artist, and they can twist things. Like Different Boots was a title I had on my phone for a long time, and Stover twisted like it's probably a year. And Jeremy, we were just reading off our titles at that point. We were like, God, we got to write the best song. And Jeremy twisted that like that. So just going with the flow. My girlfriend's a pop artist, and she doesn't even bring ideas in, and they write great songs all the time. So it's literally it's so different. It could be, if you're talented and can do it, you don't need to prepare. My roommate, he freaking prepares a lot, which he's really talented in himself, so he can do that and bring that in, yada yada yada. So I don't spend too much time thinking about it.
Right. And now on the performance side of things, as you get to perform with other artists and bigger artists, what does that mean for you? Just not only in the exposure, but just being around those artists and seeing how they prepare and how they handle themselves and how they perform.
That's something I really enjoy doing. It's just watching the pre-show and knowing how they do like pre-post and all that stuff, and like important for myself to watch that, to know what I want to do and know what I want to not do and all that stuff. So I actually really enjoy. I've always been the guy. They call it I heard this term, Agent Alley. I like to sit in the back or side stage. You know what I mean? I love that. So.
And as you look back, it's only been about 6 years since you first jumped on stage to sing. And so as you look back at that and just the progression within yourself of being an artist, I mean, what do you think about that journey when you think back to that 16, 17-year-old kid who jumped up for the first time?
Been fast, a lot faster than I realized. Yeah, it's one of them. From where I started to where I ended up, feels like mountains moved and stuff like that. So it's nothing but a blessing is all it is. It's just happy that it's God's plan in some way, shape, or form, that I get that music's my full-time career, whatever it is. I know there's a career in music for me somewhere, and I'm learning that, I'm not thinking of a plan B, but knowing that, I'll always be living in Nashville. It's for sure.
And talk about Nashville, because I was thinking off the start when you talked about Carrollton, Georgia, and growing up there and it being so quiet. What has that transition been like to Nashville and the busyness of it and sort of shifting into more of that busier lifestyle?
Man, it's been one of them things where I got to learn to slow down in my own ways and learn to get my fix when I need it, and know not to hit everything and hit every party or everything you get invited to. Just take it, knowing that my job is to party sometimes on the stage. It's like a grand scheme of thing. Like it is to like perform very heavily, stay up late. So take the times of weekdays to rest a lot and focus on the things I can do myself and what I can control. I can't control that me talking to that person at that party, but I can control me getting sleep and be rested up to work out and go right. You know what I mean? So stuff like that.
Thank you once again so much for listening, and thank you to Noah for stopping by and sharing his story. Be sure to check out his new EP, Tripping Over My Boots, on September 30th. Please also be sure to check out us on social media. We're available on all platforms, so just head over, search Country Music Made Me, and give us a follow. You can also visit us at countrymusicmademe.com to sign up for our newsletter and receive exclusive content. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review, a rating. It all helps and is very much appreciated. Thank you once again so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Country Music Made Me.